Hi guys, today I'm going to do an explanation video for you outlining the equipment that we use and also the procedures that we use when doing our 0 to 100 and engine sound videos. We get a few comments on some cars saying that we haven't got it in sport mode, or we haven't got the best out of the car because we didn't wheel spin it enough, or something like this. So I just want to clarify for you exactly what is involved in our videos that we put together. So to start with, it's about the external videos. So this is where we bring the cars down to our new favorite road here and get recordings of the engine sound. So usually we'll take off under full throttle up the road in both directions, coming towards the camera, and a kick down past the camera, and also a demonstration of the 100 to 0 braking performance. The key thing to remember here that none of this is being timed. So this is purely for demonstration purposes, to give you an idea of what the car sounds like under load, because cars sometimes sound a bit different when they're under load, but also for entertainment purposes. So if we've got a sports car, we might purposely cause a bit of wheel spin as we're taking off, or if the car's got launch control, we'll try and use that at least once, just to give you an idea of what the car looks like screaming up the road. It's not being timed though. For the actual performance timing, we use a private road that we've got access to, which actually has nice, fresh, smooth tarmac as opposed to this sort of quite rough tarmac. But we can't use that road really because it runs right near a motorway and there's lots of noise interference from trucks and so on. But anyway, this road's perfectly fine for picking up the engine sound and what we want to do today. For this external part of the video, we use a pretty generic tripod, as well as a Nikon D750 DSLR camera and a shotgun style Rode mic on the top. This isn't an ideal camera for recording videos. I mainly use this for shooting photos. So if you've got any recommendations of a nice video camera that we should be using, please let us know in the comments section. Keep in mind we've got quite a small budget. But yeah, so the camera is literally set up here, and then we take off down the road, do all the videos as I described, and then that's it. So there's no timing involved in any of that. And then there's the in-car video. So this is where we get the GoPro and literally duct tape it to the dashboard here and do pretty much the same thing. Give you a demonstration on what 0 to 100 looks like, 60 to 100 and 100 to 0. Like the external videos though, none of this is being timed. It's purely for demonstration purposes. In fact, we do sometimes chuck the camera on here on this road to do the filming. Other times we'll use the private road, and other times if we're in a real rush, we might even use the highway or something like that. But it's just to give you an idea of what the 0 to 100 looks like. We will try and do a fast takeoff, so if we're finding that it's got a race mode, we'll try and use that. But there is the odd occasion where we'll forget to put it into sport mode. It might be in eco mode. But you can rest assured the actual timing, the figures that we spit up at the end of the video, are the fastest we've achieved with the car. So why do we do the videos separately to the actual timing? Well, in some cases, especially if it's a manual transmission car, we might have to do about 10 to 15 takeoffs just to find the quickest time. And then if we had to sync all of those the results with the filming, it'll just be way too time consuming and we wouldn't be able to put together as many videos as we do. How do we come up with the times at the end of the video? We use two key pieces of equipment for this. The first is the RaceLogic VBox Sport. RaceLogic is a pretty well-renowned company for producing data logging systems. The VBox Sport is not a standalone product like some of the old RaceLogic boxes that you might have seen. Instead, you need to download an app which can be downloaded on any iOS device such as an iPhone or an iPad. I'm actually an Android user, so I've got my mother-in-law's old iPhone that I use, that I've got the app downloaded onto. So let's chuck it all in the car and I'll give you a demonstration of how it all works. We've got the 2018 Suzuki Swift Sport here today. I've asked for the automatic version because I want to show you the different takeoff methods, but I also want to show you just how quick this great little car is. It really is an awesome little car. You can read the full review in the description at the bottom of this video, and you can watch the previous 0 to 100 and engine sound video that we've done a couple of months ago with manual versus automatic linked in at the end of this video. So I've got the V-Box connected to this app. You punch in the details of the car, which I've already done, 2018 Swift Sport manual, auto, sorry, and then we've got it on acceleration. So then you just go to test and make sure that little green tick is there and it's ready to go. There's no sport mode in this car, it's just automatic or manual, but I'll just do, what I want to do to start with is just automatic, no engine rev, building up the engine revs on the brake. All I'm going to do is have my foot on the brake as we're stopped here, and then just flatten the throttle and take off the brake at the exact same time. So let's see what it does. This will start timing as soon as the car moves, or as soon as the GPS recognizes that the car is moving. Let's see how we go. So that's timing away. That's 100. So that's just done 7.6. I'll just pull over and we can have a closer look. So that's, I just hit reset and then you go to details and it's giving you a more detailed timing. So 7.59, that's without building the revs on the brake, just flattening the throttle. And I actually had the traction control still turned on. So let's go back and do the exact same position and try a different method. So go back to test. This time I'm going to build the engine revs on the brake. So this is basically my left foot's on the brake, and I bring the engine revs up without letting the car take off, and then release the brake very fast. A lot of manufacturers claim this is launch control, which is not really in my opinion. Launch control is where the engine revs are properly brought up to 4,000 or 5,000 RPM, and some sort of clutch mechanism lets the car go and then controls the wheel spin as it's taking off. The GTR, a lot of BMW M cars, Lamborghini, McLaren, all of these have proper launch control. But some vehicles out there, you can, like the Kia Stinger and a lot of BMW, the standard BMW models, you'll put your foot on the brake, build the engine revs, and it'll say launch control. To me, I think this is mainly about the traction control system. So it'll recognize that you are trying to get a good takeoff, and it will just manage the traction control for the best takeoff for that given sprint that you're doing, but it's not really launch control. Anyway, you can do this type of launch with any automatic vehicle that has a torque converter automatic. So a dual clutch gearbox won't really let you do this, because as you hit the accelerator, the clutches will try and grab and want to push you forward, and it won't let you do that, and the engine revs will drop straight back down again because you're on the brakes. But yeah, you can do this with any car with a torque converter automatic. So let's give it a go. So you can actually flip that down or up, it doesn't matter, and you hit start. So that's not going to start until I move. So I'll build the engine revs on the brakes pretty much as I can without the car wanting to take off. So that's with traction control. Traction is still switched on. And that's 100. So that's 7.8 by the looks of it. We'll pull over and have a closer look. Reset, and then details. So that's done 7.82 with the traction control still switched on. As you probably saw then, it really bogged down the car to stop the wheel spin. So we'll do that once more, and this time have the traction control switched off. Okay, so we're back at the same position. Straighten it up a little bit. I'll get this going again, but this time we'll turn the traction control. I don't know why I can't say that very good today, but I think you just push it once and it turns off. There we go. So that's completely switched off now. And then we'll try again. I'll still build the engine revs on the brake and see how we go. That's ready to go. So that was a bit of wheel spin there as it went into second gear. It might be not that quick. That's 100. That's done 7.6 again. We'll have a closer look. Reset, and details 7.58, so that's a fraction quicker than the time that we achieved before. without building the engine revs on the brake. So I'm going to do it once more, and this time I'm going to build the engine revs not so high, because it did wheel spin a fair bit off the mark then, and then see how we go. We have got 7.1 in a different vehicle. It's still a 2018 Suzuki Swift Sport automatic, but we achieved 7.1. I could probably sit here all day and it would produce different times again and again and again. It's all got to do with, oh, there's plenty of variables. So as I said, the tire pressures, the fuel that's in the car. So this is whatever fuel was the previous person put in the car, or what Suzuki put in the car actually. Also the wind, there's no wind today, but when we did the 7.1 time, there might have been a bit of tailwind. You know, you can't control these variables, but it's interesting to see the difference anyway. So we'll try once more, and I'll build the revs not quite so high. I'm in automatic mode, start. The traction is still off. I'll build the revs just a little bit, maybe to 2000 RPM. That was a bit better. And that's 100. So that's just done 7.5 that time. I'll pull over and we can have a closer look. So reset. Details, 7.50, that's done. So there you have it, guys. Now you understand how we do our 0 to 100 testing. The video portion is completely separate to the actual testing. And the reason we do this is because we often do a lot more testing than we do actual videoing. Sometimes we are in a bit of a rush. We might forget to do a certain part of the video, or if we're on location at a launch, we'll try and do an adapted version of our usual template. But you can rest assured, any performance figures that we do quote are usually the result of at least 3 or 4 testing attempts to try and find the fastest time. We weren't able to get close to the 7.01 seconds that we achieved previously in an automatic Suzuki Swift Sport, although it was a different car. The main difference would have been that it's on a different road. So today we had a bit of wheel spin that we were dealing with, which I think slowed the car down a little bit. As always though, our times aren't to find the absolute quickest you could achieve out of any particular car. There's a lot of variables that can change that, such as tire pressures, tire wear, the fuel that's in the car, and how much fuel is in the car for the weight, but also if you've got any belongings in the car that might weigh the car down. What we're doing is more of a standardized testing procedure that you can compare all the cars that we actually test. You can't really compare them to any other magazine testing that they do, because we don't know what their sort of testing procedure is. I know Motor Trend and Tesla subtract the first foot out of their testing to replicate a drag strip scenario. But you can't really compare testing for testing. Also, things like altitude, the weather, all make a bit of a difference in timing. But anyway, I hope that cleared that up for you. I hope that gave you a bit of an idea of how we come up with our testing results. As I mentioned, you can check out the full review of this car in the description of this video below, and you can also watch the previous 0 to 100 engine sound manual versus automatic video linked in at the end of this video. If you've got any feedback or advice, or perhaps you've got an idea that you'd like us to perform, please just let us know in the comments below the video. We always like reading those. Thanks for watching.